What's up, D-Way Nation? It's your boy D-Way. Back at you with another one. I'm talking about a fire episode of Keep It Over D-Way. And trust me, you are not ready for what we're diving into today. We're talking about headlines that broke the internet, shook up the entire rap game, and have everybody in New York City asking one question. If ASAPRocky actually running for mayor, you know how that go. That's right. Pretty Flacko Jody, the Harlem fashion god, potentially making a move for a city hall. I'm talking about, and that's not even the wild part. We got to unpack the whole F the Streets movement. And he been campaigning for what it really means and why it's got the industry in a chokehold. Stick around, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's get into it. All right. So let's cut straight to it. The whispers, no, the shout outs start circulating late year and have picked up major steam in January 2026. Reports are coming out, especially with the buzz around the news album, around his new album, Don't Be Dumb, that ASAPRocky has been floating the idea of potential running for New York City mayor. You know, now, before you start picturing a fashion show, you know, or a city council meeting breaking out into a mosh pit, which honestly will be pretty legendary. We need to put this in perspective. It is official. No, not in the traditional sense. But when ASAPRocky floats an ideal, the country listens. And when the ideal involved him becoming the chief executive of one of the biggest, most influential cities in the world, you bet your bottom dollar we're talking about it. This is just an idle talk. Strategically tying Rocky to using the platform, his platform especially, with the album rollout to challenge norms, spark conversation, and I say maybe even test the water for future political influence. It's not an actual run. Now let's talk about the movement that really at the heart of Rocky's current narrative, F the Streets. This phrase alone had caused massive uproar and misunderstanding. When people hear F the Streets, they'll immediately think, oh, he's turning his back on where he came from. He's disrespecting the block. But that's not the full story, not even close. We heard Boosie, he having problems with people saying F the Streets. We heard 21 Savage saying F the Streets. Young Thug saying F the Streets. You know, and there's a lot of people who went against them guys for saying F the Streets. Okay. The genius of the movement, believe it or not, come from one other than 21 Savage. He originally vocalized this, he just really came up with the idea, F the Streets. Not as a dismissal of urban communities, but as a rejection. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want the street life. It was time to give it up. The violence, the trauma, the endless cycle, the traps, and so much more. It's about recognizing that there's more to life than what happened on the block. Think about it. And that's, you know what I'm saying, consistently celebrating that negative cycle is a terminal to our youth and our future. Who gonna be a role model for the kids? Who gonna show them the way if everybody living in this street mentality? Somebody got to pay the way for the kids. 21 Savage was essential saying, we need to move past this. We need to heal. We need to educate. We need to find perspectives outside of the scripted pattern. Often, you know what I'm saying, in rap and media. And this is where ASAPRocky comes in. He didn't just hop on the bandwagon. He doubled down on his support for F the Streets, aligning it perfectly with the theme of his album, Don't Be Dumb. He's not saying F the Streets, people in the streets. He's saying F the mentality that keep us there. I'm talking, when we gonna change? It's like a cycle that never ends. Somebody got to be able to break that cycle. And that's where, you know, ASAPRocky, 21 Savage, you know, Young Thug, everybody trying to break the cycle. But you got people like Charleston White, Boosie, and so many other people who want to continue the legacy. That's just how it go. Okay, and this is where ASAPRocky come in. He didn't just hop on a bandwagon. He just said, it is what it is, F the Streets. In a recent interview with Rocky broke it down. He said the industry has been selling a lie, pushing a narrative that glorifies crashing out, going to jail or worse. You know what I'm saying? Because they get to hearing that hip-hop music, that street culture, and they think they can live it. You got people out here around with the switch. Everybody want a hat. You know, so when is it going to stop? When the cycle going to ever end? You know, he's advocating for a fundamental shift in mindset. His message is about being smart, about making intelligent choice, about building something sustainable, rather than falling victim to the very real and often tragic consequences of the street, like going to prison, getting killed. You know, think about it. He's a global superstar, a fashion icon, an entrepreneur. He came from Harlem, saw the street life. You know what I'm saying? He been transcended. You know what I'm saying? And now he using the massive platform to essentially say, you know what? We need to elevate. That's right. We need to heal from this trauma. I think we need to be a little smarter. He challenged the very foundation of what people, you know what I'm saying, perceive as authentic in hip hop. It's a bold move, a necessary move, and it just certainly got people talking. I'm talking about some people want to stay in the past and don't want to move into, you know what I'm saying, move forward. Now you know when a topic like this come up, especially from an artist of a Rocky caliber, the hip hop community is going to be like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, oh boy, is it divided? On one side, you got artists who are fully embracing F the Streets. You know what I'm saying? Guys like G Herbo, Pooh Shiesty, who have lived through intense street experience, have publicly supported the sentimental of the streets. They understand the pain and the dead ends that come with the lifestyle. And they resonate with the call for change and growth. They see it as push for progression, for healing, for a better future, for the community. You know, everybody don't want to keep on living like Boosie want to live or like some of these roughnecks want to live. Everybody don't want to do that. But then on the other side, you have fierce critics. Fivio Foreign, known for his drill sound, and Blueface, never shy to speak his mind, have been vocal against the movement. Their argument often boils down to this. Are you turning your back on the very culture, the very struggle that made you? Are you forgetting where you came from? They believe that acknowledging and representing the streets is part of the authentic of hip hop, and that dismissing it is almost a betrayal when it's really not. It's a complex debate, right? Because both sides have valid points. Is it about forgetting your roots, or is it about planting new You know what I'm saying? New hitter roots for the next generation. This is just music. It's a cultural clash. I'm talking about a generational shift, a deeply personal conversation for many artists and fans alike. I'm talking about, all right, now let's get back to the mirror speculation. Because while the conversation is fire, we got to sprinkle in some political reality. As of January 2026, New York City, you know, a new mayor. Did y'all say a new mayor?
Mayor of New York City.
For sure.
Is politics something that could actually be in your future?
I think so. You know, there are a lot of political current affairs that need to be addressed, changes that needs to be made. I think that I would really do well because I'm a guy that's for the people. Mm-hmm. You see potholes, fix them. Look at the rates for the trains. Like the train fare just went up to $3. It's fucking crazy. You know, inflation is crazy. I mean, SNAP and welfare and food stamps and all of these.
Okay, you got it for yourself. You hear Rocky. You hear Rocky. Everything up, so he trying to do something about it. He trying to do something about it. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So while the ideal of Mayor Flacko dropping diss tracks and the city council meeting is entertaining an extra run for mayor right now, in 2026 would mean a special election, and those are typically triggered. You know what I'm saying? By unforeseen circumstances like mayor stepping down or being removed from office. That's not currently the case. So what does this all mean? Is Rocky playing us? Is it all just a masterclass and an album promotion? My take, it's a brilliant blend of both. He using the concept of politic influence, the idea of stepping up to lead to amplify his message about the streets movement, and things on it don't be dumb. It's smart. You know what I'm saying? And it's keeping his name, his album, his message at the forefront of cultural conversation. Could he run in 2029? Absolutely. He'll have time to build a real campaign, gather support, solidify his platform. But for now, it's more about conversation than the bailout box. You know, beyond the rumors in the album, what Rocky is doing here is really important. He embodying the role of the artist and the active, an influencer of thought and challenging of norms. This isn't just about rap beef. It's about pushing for social commentary that transcends entertainment. For years, hip-hop has been criticized for its glorification of violence, drugs, and destructive lifestyle, and so much other things. And while that's a narrow view of diverse genes, you know what I'm saying? It's also a conversation that needs to be held intentionally. Well, not intentionally, but internally. Rocky alongside with 21 Savage is forcing that conversation. And many others could we already named them. He's saying we can be authentic. We can be real. We can acknowledge our past. But we don't have to be definitely by its trauma. We can evolve. You know what I'm saying? This movement, whether you agree with it, phrasing or not, is all called for healing, for self-improvement, and for a focus on mental and emotional well-being within the very communities that are often most affected by these. I'm talking about lots of community issues. It's about breaking cycles. Who's gonna ever do it? Not keeping them. And when the artist of a rocket stature steps up to say that, it creates ripples throughout the entire culture. You know? So what my final take on all this, D-Way Nation? What y'all think? Do I think ASAPRocky will be the next mayor of New York City? Not in the immediate future, no. But do I think his influence and his message on mayoral level? Absolutely. He leverages his power to spark crucial conversation that need to be heard. I'm talking about like the Off the Streets movement, for all the controversy, it's making us think, it's making us question what we celebrate, what we mourn, and what kind of future we want to build. It's a brave stance, especially when it goes against some ingrained tradition with hip hop. And that's where you come in. What do you think about all this? If ASAPRocky right to push the F the Streets message, do you think he could actually be mayor someday? Who are you? I'm talking about, who are you siding with in the debate? The supporters or the critics? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your raw, unfiltered opinion. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you enjoyed the breakdown, subscribe. If you haven't already joined the D-Way Nation, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another hot takeover, exclusive update, then you better. You know, I'm going to crank up the Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at a later date. I'm out. Until next time, peoples.